Have you heard the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? But that's what people do, right? We judge everything by outward appearances. In my experience, a great album cover can make or break the decision on whether I buy an album. So go on a journey with me as we look at some great album cover designs and talk about why I believe that you need a personal designer for your album artwork. This is Judged by the Cover. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Judged by the Cover podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Phil.
And it is 2026.
So fast.
Crazy. And, this is actually one of my favorite episodes we do every year. It's a reflection on 2025. So we're going to be going through some of our favorites from last year. Favorite album covers, physical packaging. We're going to talk about some of our favorite music moments and stuff like that. It's just a cool way to reflect on music from last year and just share some of the things that we found that are our favorites.
I always learn something new too. That's why I love doing this.
Yeah, come on, same. We were actually, maybe I shouldn't spoil it because the one that Phil's going to be talking about for his favorite album cover, I hadn't heard the album and we were listening to it while we were setting up and getting ready, and it's
so good.
It's good, man.
It's so good.
It's good.
Yeah.
But to kind of start this out, one thing I wanted to talk about, I think one of the biggest things that happened in music in 2025 is R.I.P. the Song of Summer.
Yeah.
There's always those songs that you get sick of it almost because you can't escape it.
You cannot escape.
The only thing that I can think of, and I should have looked up the name, but I think, was it last year or the year before, the Beyonce album, the Beyonce country album?
Yes.
What was that? Ain't No Texas or Ain't No Hold'em? That song was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think it came out that spring-ish time.
Yeah, that was out everywhere for sure. Big, super big.
Yeah, but this year, what song was it? We even went to the old interwebs and looked it up. And do you know what the official Billboard Song of the Summer was? It was Ordinary by Alex Warren. We had heard it. We pulled it up and listened to it. And it was like, oh, that song. But it wasn't one of those things that I think I'd heard it on Reels or on TikTok videos and stuff like that. But, I can't say that I heard it all over the place or in movie trailers and stuff like that.
And it's kind of a mid-tempo song. It's not like a Katy Perry banger.
Right. Because usually it's kind of like that up-tempo, makes you feel good. Almost like Young Love almost.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the songs that you think of with that kind of stuff. But some other things that they mentioned were Sabrina Carpenter. I probably would have thought of that because she was kind of everywhere this year.
So big. What was her? Do you see the title of what was? It
was
song?
Man-Child.
Okay, Man-Child.
But yeah, just overall, I just feel like the Song of Summer, is it dead?
I don't know. It's a radio thing. When I was a kid, the Go-Go's came out with their vinyl, and it was probably available on cassette, but Vacation was the big single. So it was a big 80s summer song. And, school was letting out, and you could not escape that song. It was on the radio everywhere.
Yeah. I think of, from my high school days, it was the, what's his name? This is bad.
Well, give me the year. Well, what year did you graduate?
2006, 2007. What's his name? Kid Rock.
Yeah.
The song that
he sampled it. Werewolves of London sample.
No, it was the song that was kind of sampled off of Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, drinking whiskey from the bottle, never thinking about tomorrow.
That was one of those songs that it was on country radio, it was on classic rock radio, it was on rock radio, it was on everything. Yeah, and so
that was a good song.
Yeah. Probably should have known what that was called before talking about it. But yeah, so and I don't know. My thought is, because of short form video, the whole TikTok effect.
Yeah.
We live in these little silos of algorithms where these things are feeding us just what we like.
Yep.
And so we're getting just fed music and artists and, whatever that falls into those things that we like and follow and stuff like that. And anymore, everybody just has their own little silo. And so I think, everybody could have been like, oh, this song, I would have called it, but I don't think there was this collective as a culture, a song of the summer. And it's kind of sad.
It is it's a little, It's a little bit sad. You know, it's like back in the day, you would go to your buddy's house because they bought the new album.
Right.
Like, you didn't own it, but they owned it. So
Right.
you had to travel across town or next door and go sit at their house and listen to the whole record.
Yeah.
And that was a great way to just organically share music
Yeah.
and learn about music.
Well, just like get together and hang out with people too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right? We're not just listening to, our own Spotify playlists and stuff like that. And I think even like streaming platforms could be to blame a little bit too, because I don't listen to radio. I think it's, long standing on this podcast that I think that radio is the worst form of media when it comes to music. But we listen to the stuff that we like.
But they still use radio. Like if you get a little a record deal, little or big, there's still in those contracts that they're going to push out and promote to radio. So I mean, I don't think it's dead. I think they just want to cover all their bases.
Yeah.
If you're gonna release a single wide, across the nation.
Yeah.
I listen to radio if I'm on a long road trip and I'm kind of burned out on whatever podcast I was listening to. You know what I mean? If I just need a change, I'll just do like scan and, I'm picking up some cool radio station in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Maybe on a road trip, but anymore, I never listen to the radio unless I'm in my wife's car. She just got the radio on sometimes. But yeah. No. So, great way to start the podcast on like a bummer thing. But no, just kind of a thing that I'd heard a lot about. I heard a lot of people talking about it and just, reflected on 2025. That was just kind of the thing I was thinking. Like, that that one little aspect that we always had is kind of dead.
Well, an artist would also really, if you're writing that way and, for your release, you would always hope to like, man, maybe this is the summer banger.
Right.
And if you get on that crazy horse, you're set.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're even writing or thinking that anymore. Like, oh, hey, what's your summer song?
Yeah. I don't know. That's actually kind of an interesting thing. Maybe we should find some artists to talk to about that.
Don Henley had the Boys of Summer. Obviously, I date myself all the time, but those were the big ones, know. And then when you got into the 90s, you had like some of the big rappers in New York and LA were cranking out big summer jams.
Yeah. So if you're an artist or, somebody that has a little more insight into this and you want to share some info with us, you can drop us a line at info@jwcreates.com or on socials. That's at JWCreates. Love to hear from you. Would love to hear some perspective. Just is the Song of Summer officially dead? Anyway. We got some great stuff that we want to talk about that came out of 2025. But first, let's take a minute to thank our sponsors of the show, and we will be right back. Judged by the Cover is brought to you by JW Creates. JW Creates is your local graphic design source that specializes in cover art, logos, and websites for bands, musicians, podcasters, small business, and solo entrepreneurs. I love to hear your story and to help bring it to life through the art of graphic design. To learn more and connect with me, go to jwcreates.com, check out my work, and use the form at the bottom to tell me more about your project. Let's work together to bring your story to life through the art of graphic design.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. And thanks to our sponsors, and more importantly, thank you to you for tuning in. So you want to talk about standout album covers?
Yeah. So I figure we'll start with the big one, best album cover of 2025. According to Josh and Phil.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some great ones that we haven't seen or didn't see. Would love to hear your thoughts on them.
Let us know.
Phil's going to start us off. So, Phil, what was your favorite album cover that came out of 2025?
Right. Buddy Guy, iconic blues musician. Ain't Done with the Blues.
Ain't Done with the Blues.
Man, came out July 30th, 2025. And I think it probably just popped up on like my Spotify radar. And, I'm not a huge blues guy, but for whatever reason, I'm always drawn back to the blues, and I'm a guitar player and I love playing the blues.
Yeah.
It's just so foundational musically. Like I'm always going back to the blues. And this record does not disappoint, man. Play it from song 1 to song 12 or 8. It might even be 18 tracks on the record. But Buddy Guy says, I'm not done telling the blues story. and the blues aren't done talking back.
I love
He's
that.
89 years old when he released this.
Gosh, that's
so
crazy.
now he's pushing 90.
89 years old, man. And like,
Yeah.
the dude can still sing.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh man, I'm kind of the same way, you know, guitar player. I don't really listen to the blues that much, but we put it on while we were getting everything set up, and I was like, God, this record rocks.
It sounds so good.
Like right from the top, man.
Yeah.
It comes out great riffs.
Yeah.
And the blues, I feel like the blues is really like the foundation for a lot of different genres of music, right?
Yeah.
Specifically rock, maybe bleeding into country a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a foundation for a lot of music.
It's so fun, and it's like the blues kind of chase the blues away, you know. So when you're down, you listen to the blues, and it gets you because you relate to the story, and it pulls you out of your own.
Yeah,
funk.
like expert storytellers, in the blues world.
Yeah.
It's just there's just something that kind of draws you in. I just don't know why. Why don't I go back to it like I do other stuff?
I don't know. We get in our little comfort zones, music comfort zones.
We just want those, the bops, right?
Yeah. But you know what's cool? He's got special guests like Joe Walsh,
Joe Walsh,
Joe Bonamassa.
Let's go.
He's got Kingfisher. He's got the Blind Boys of Alabama on here. So you're listening. And Peter Frampton. Peter Frampton's legend.
Yeah.
So, you listen to it and then you're like, oh, wow, I know that guy's voice. Or, oh, I know that guitar sound. And it's like, oh, it's Joe Walsh. I don't know, really cool. I love the design. The photo is so good. And I looked up the photographer on Instagram. His name is Lyndon French. So Lyndon French is a Chicago-based photographer. He looks young too, just like a young dude. But he shot some really cool stuff. I checked out his website, and then the graphic designer and the art director on this album was Tori Ann Tartaro. And just I don't know, I love the image, and it's such a. I'm sure Buddy Guy was just like, wow. And he just had come off of the movie Sinners, which I haven't seen, and I will watch it. Everyone recommends the movie Sinners to me. I need to get down and watch it. I don't know why I haven't done it, but Buddy Guy makes a special appearance in the movie, and he was saying, like, to keep the blues alive now, an artist has to do all this stuff, like be in movies, get on the radio, because he said ain't nobody listening to the radio.
Right.
He said back in the day they would play my blues record on AM and FM radio. He said now they don't do it. So it's like I gotta make an appearance in a movie, and just tour like crazy.
Yeah, just get in front of like as many people as you can.
Yeah.
So
that's my favorite album cover because it's so graphic and it really I'm like, wow, it's mysterious in a way. Like I want to learn more about it.
It is, yeah. And for those that are just listening, if you're not on YouTube checking us out, it's got this really like bright red background, and it's I don't know, it's got some life, some soul to it that's really hard to explain. Just good contrast, and then the image of Buddy Guy, like the really deep black, this really cool white shirt with the floral collar on it.
It's almost like a silhouette.
It is almost silhouette.
Yeah.
And maybe that's, me and Phil were kind of talking about it a little bit before we jumped on here, and I was just talking about how deep and rich the black colors are in this cover, and I think maybe that was the whole thing, like just the silhouette, but like actual like a photo. I don't know. He's got to be depth.
So happy with it.
Yeah.
And then the other selects from the photo shoot that they use for the press, they're just as they're great. Yeah. Same backdrop, but just different, full on, full front of Buddy, and I bet you he's so happy to have that. And it's really cool, I think, when you find a good photographer and a graphic designer who, I mean, if that was my album cover, I'd just be like, wow, y'all nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, great photographers, great designer to kind of pull it all together as a theme. 100%. Good and
choice. Layout and everything. It's like all that stuff is so important. Like framing, how it's gonna be, cut for your CD or for your vinyl or even cassette now, and how it's gonna look on digital. So yeah, all 100%, 5 stars for this one.
Yeah. Nope, I agree. Great choice this year, Phil.
And a good listen, start to finish, which is rare. Like I do try to sit down and listen to a whole album. Yep. This one is gold.
Yeah. Any of those albums that you can find that are just like a good listen front to back. Those are the ones I love buying on vinyl, because when you're listening to a vinyl, it's really hard to like skip it to that favorite song. You almost have to just like start it from the front, let it play through.
Yeah.
And so albums that you can do that and enjoy the whole listen, like even extra special.
And I like having to wait for the hit, or if there are a couple like special songs on a record that I like, I'm like, I'll wait. And it makes it a little more like I know this one's coming.
Right. I love that. I struggled a little bit this year with my favorite album cover. Generally speaking, the last couple of years, there's been something that like just stood out to me, and I was like, I love this. This is what I want to talk about. But there are two that I'm gonna just bring up because I had a hard time choosing which one I like better. The first one is going to be our boy Mammoth. I love talking about Mammoth.
Sure.
I guess I'm a super fan. But his new album, The End, came out this year. And the album cover itself, and I didn't do as much research as Phil, so that's on me. But the album cover is this really bright yellow color. The album's called The End, and it has kind of these like apocalyptic feels to it. Just the album and like some of the songs and the imagery and stuff like that. But the main character on this album is this guy that's like on fire, almost reminiscent. What's that Pink Floyd album?
Yeah. They're at Warner Brothers studio and they're making a deal, so they're shaking hands, and you're the big exec, and I'm the other guy in the deal, and I'm on fire. I'm like, you're just burning me or whatever.
Yeah, so this is really like a graphic, it's not like a photo or anything like that, guy on fire.
It did remind me of that too, by the way.
Yeah, and it's just got this kind of cool grungy textured effect in all of it. One of those things that kind of just jumps out at you. The only thing I will say is that his two previous albums had killer covers.
Oh yeah,
and they were art pieces.
Yeah,
and I forget the guy's name, but very well known artists. And there was just something to them that drew you in, and like really, even though these were like art pieces that this guy created, not thinking about this album, it almost like fits the album.
Yeah.
And then this one, I don't know. It's growing on me. I didn't love it. I actually liked. Let me see if I can find.
It'll make a cool T-shirt though.
The single cover was actually really cool, and I think it.
Oh, they did a different one for the single. Interesting.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually a white background. You got the Mammoth logo in the top right hand corner, but we've got three guys kind of in these like overcoats with the kind of that same fiery look coming out the top of it. Really like the single cover art. Kind of wish they would have used it for the album, but nonetheless, still pretty cool. Just given his history in his other albums, like how cool those were, maybe a little bit of a letdown.
I like the way he condensed the logo.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
His logo and branding, I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah,
that like double M. Yep. Yeah, it has
you get it, you hear it in your head. Mammoth, I don't know. I'm gonna call me crazy, Mammoth.
It kind of has especially with that M with the circle around it. It has very much like the old Nintendo logo.
Yeah, it does.
Feel.
You're absolutely right.
And so that speaks to my like inner millennial. The other one that I really liked is it was an album that came out late this year, like right after Thanksgiving, I think. It's called The And by Andy Mineo. It actually started as kind of just this experimental project. He took a lot of like beats that probably he would have had a really hard time getting them through like, clear the samples on them. And so, really he released it, and I think he actually released it, the kind of the experimental portion of it, end of the previous year, end of 24, maybe it was early this year, just to see like what people thought about the songs, because it was a lot of the songs were very different than the music that he's put out there. Andy Mineo, he's a hip hop artist. I followed him for a long time.
Oh, really?
And it's actually really cool. So the cover art it's a white background, and then in the center there's a bunch of like words, and you can barely read it, but it's just over and over. It's the end, the and question mark, and it kind of plays to the whole feel of the song. And one of the songs kind of just talks about like He had a record deal with a record label, decided to step out and go indie.
Wow. Interesting.
And so, kind of a big step to do that.
Yeah.
And this whole idea, like, this was his first release in 3 years. So he's been struggling with, like, do I still have more to say?
Yeah.
Where do I go from here and stuff like that. So it's like, is this the end? Or, that's kind of the whole feeling of it. And then kind of overlaid is an image of him overlaid.
I
on
love
top
that
of it.
image. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's simple, but it really, I don't know. It kind of just speaks to the album, especially once you listen to it. It kind of clicks. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The artist. There wasn't a lot of information out there about this album, even on his website, which his website is hilarious. It is, it looks kind of like a 90s computer desktop.
Oh, Lord. Okay. That's why I miss liner notes so much.
Right.
Because you could get all the information. I think it's so much harder to find out, like, who was the artist that painted the album cover?
Yeah.
Who was the photographer? Well, the photographer, they usually are pretty good about crediting, but, down to the graphic designer and, art directions, like, if you want to nerd out like we do, I want to find that information. And it was hard for me to find the art director and designer on the Buddy Guy record. Thank goodness for, ChatGPT.
A little deep research on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You have reached your limit for the day. All right. Well, that was my last question anyway. Like, who was the graphic designer, art director?
But according to, because I also went the same route because I wasn't finding anything on his website, social media, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's credited to Delgus Jose Mustafa. And I couldn't really find a lot of information as far as like his work and stuff like that. But according to deep research, that's who gets credited for it. So
again, it always goes back to the music and the art. It becomes an art piece. Once you get the graphic design and once you get your art director and your music together, it becomes an art piece.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that adds value to it too. You and I were talking about pricing for merch.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I used to be that guy. I was like, I don't want to spend $50 on a hoodie. But then once and I'm an artist too. I'm not currently touring or anything like that. But once you understand, like, well, that's really how they're going to pay their rent.
Yeah.
By you buying the hoodie.
100%.
Doing them a solid.
Yeah.
And then it's still an art piece. Yes, it's expensive, but you're really helping them out.
And that's where, like, having somebody help you with the graphics and stuff like that, help it all tie together, help it tell the same story, it makes people excited about it. I mean, right now, me and you are both wearing concert tees that tie into
logos
albums.
are everything.
Yeah.
Look, this is my favorite store on the Upper West Side in New York City, Zabar's. And I bought this in the 90s. And it's funny, my daughter bought me one recently, and it's not the same orange, and it pissed me off. Oh, no. What do you got? You got Warner Brothers.
Yep, this is another Phil.
That was my first day starting at Warner Brothers Studios. They gave me like a little packet, and that mug was in it. I love the logo, iconic logo.
Oh,
of course,
100%.
I'm wearing the Police. You're wearing Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. Yeah. Maybe a sign of what's to come.
Logos are everything.
So yeah, that was our two. I guess three. Favorite album covers from 2025, but we'd love to hear yours. If there was something that really stood out to you,
tip us off.
Or if you're an artist and you have an album or a single that came out and you're really proud of the cover art, send it to us. We'd love to check it out. Who knows? We may even talk about it here because we're always looking for albums to talk about and discuss. So,
and that turns us on to new music. That's really how it works.
Let's go. Well, cool. Yeah, so that's best album cover from 2025. One of the other things that we always love to talk about doing these shows is best physical packaging. And it's really cool to kind of just see how people are really diving into the physical medium, like actually owning music. And, obviously, people our ages, because we remember these things, right? But even like young kids, the Gen Zs, and I think even the younger, Gen Alpha, is that what they're calling them? Something like that. They're actually falling in love with these mediums too. So best physical packaging from 2025. Phil, what was yours?
Best physical packaging. I love this band back in my day when I was a kid. I always go back there, I know, but Fine Young Cannibals. Fine Young Cannibals. They're so good, man. And they just did a reissue. It's sweet. It's their 40th anniversary.
40th anniversary. That's wild.
And they had huge hits. Just look up Fine Young Cannibals. You'll fall in love with them for sure. Like, She Drives Me Crazy. They covered an Elvis hit. Really fun stuff.
Yeah, I don't know of them specifically, but I'm pretty sure I've heard the songs. You sent me a video on Instagram where someone was showing the packaging for this 40th anniversary album, and it's got this like elevator theme,
stainless steel feel.
Yeah, almost like an elevator you would see, like a service elevator or something like that. Like a big, like I'm assuming like New York building or something like that. But yeah, it's like this silvery aluminum, polished look. The back is the panel where the buttons would be. Yep. And I think that's for the song
track listing.
The track listing.
Yes.
And just through and through, like you open it up and you see the doors for the elevator.
The LED lighting with the arrows. Mm-hmm. It is so good. Like I really want to buy it, but again, it's like, man,
don't be cheap, Phil.
I gotta work I gotta work some OT.
There you go.
Before I buy that one, man. I gotta work some OT.
But yeah, just overall as like a concept and a theme in the packaging, it's killer.
It is,
and
man.
even like the FYC 40 and this like stencil font, like somebody tagged it or something.
Or cut steel too. It reminds me of cut steel.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yep.
I would imagine they're like super happy to have this out.
Yeah, and it looks like they may have a really cool piece for like the liner notes and stuff like that too. Yeah. We should get our hands on a copy of this. Maybe we'll pull the money together and make that happen.
I will. I know where it is. It is at our local record store.
Hey, let's go.
I messaged them like, "We got it, you cheap bastard." It's probably sold by now.
Who knows? Maybe they got a couple copies of it. But yeah, no, I agree. This is awesome. This is I almost want to say this is better than mine.
Yeah, vinyl's a rich man's game, bro.
It is, and it's cool. And what's crazy is maybe not this one specifically, but artists are putting out multiple versions.
Yeah.
So like different colored vinyls, and like you can get special colors at Target versus Amazon versus their website. Even the Mammoth album, he had like 3 or 4 colorways.
Yeah.
And most of the the special ones like the oranges and yellow vinyl all sold out really quick. But
I think that's where if you're on a major or even like a kind of a higher level indie label, you get that kind of service from them.
Right.
As an independent artist, you're probably going to do
just a traditional
run, which is fine too. But it just goes to show you like sky's the limit really, and adding value to your merchandise.
Yeah, because I mean, even like Taylor Swift had a million different versions.
That's crazy
of her new album.
Yeah. And you
a
can,
million.
You can
versions.
do that if you have unlimited budget. You can sell these things on the moon if you want.
Right. So yeah, this one was really cool. I like the whole theme behind it.
Let's go down to the record store and like at least
put hands on it.
Put hands on it.
Open it up.
Yeah.
No, we won't do that. I promise. So the one that I really fell in love with this year is Sleep Token. So Sleep Token's new album, Even in Arcadia.
Cool name.
Yeah, cool name.
I don't get it, but it's cool.
Sleep Token is one of those bands, and I don't know enough about them and like their story and stuff like that, but they're different. We'll just put it that way.
Do you know where they're from?
I don't. We could find out given the old interwebs. Yeah. But so Even in Arcadia has this like really, it's kind of hauntingly beautiful image. It's really deep pinks and blacks and stuff like that.
It's like a forest, like an area, like a drone shot of a forest.
Yeah. And the physical copy, I actually bought one for my buddy. When you open it up, it's just this beautiful image, and I've been trying to scour the internet to find an image of it because I couldn't get it from him in time.
They're weird-looking people. You see this?
They are.
They like wear masks and stuff. They're like Slipknot or something.
Yeah. There's this whole like cultish kind of like following with them.
That's crazy. They look almost like Asian masks, like samurai look.
Yeah. Yep.
Whoa.
But
that's wild.
And it's just this cool like heavy metal meets pop, meets just like this hauntingly beautiful voice of the singer. Like
Yeah.
it's just it's fun. This album is really fun to listen to because it just has a lot of like changes in like the songs and like the style of the songs and stuff like that. But these are the best images that I could find of it. What I'll do is I'll probably try and get some like B-roll of it.
That is cool looking.
when we go. And there's this little black flamingo that's just hanging out in the center of the image.
What's the name of the record?
Even in Arcadia.
Oh, okay. They're from London, by the way.
Are they?
Yeah, British.
That
That
tracks.
explains a lot.
But I think
Sorry, I love Brits.
I saw the headline. I didn't click in to read it, but I think they actually topped Taylor Swift on the Billboard Hot 200 this year with this album.
And they haven't been out that long. They came out in 2016. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this Even in Arcadia was released in May 2025 through RCA Records.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah. They remain anonymous because they wear these costumes.
Yeah, which is
their face.
great because, I can't even imagine just the pressure, especially when you get to be as big as they are.
Yeah. I like their logo.
You want to be able to go out in public and not just be mauled by people.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure they do it so they can just live a normal life.
You know, it's funny. This goes back, if you know the band The Pretenders, it was Chrissy Hynde founded The Pretenders. She was from Ohio, and she moved to London probably in the 70s. Famous band, right?
Yeah.
And then she did like a guest appearance on Friends. This is in the 90s. And she said after she did the guest appearance on Friends, she couldn't go shopping in the store anymore. And when she took her kids to school, everyone recognized her. And she said that was it from her, like,
being able
anonymity.
to just live a life.
But look, man, I think it's a two-way street thing. It's like if you're an artist, you want to be known. Yeah, gets awkward.
Kind
sometimes.
of the price you pay, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but man, I can only imagine. I've heard some artists, especially we were talking about Andy Mineo. He shares in some of his song lyrics talking about how, he's had some instances where he's run into people and he's like I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to take a picture with them, and I was like I was rude to people.
Oh yeah.
And, so it's just like
and
you don't want to be like labeled as like the rude guy either. And so like wrestling with that whole thing.
It's got to be tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to give. You got to give something away a little bit, I think.
Right. It's kind of just that price you pay to be
in
famous.
the public eye. Yeah, you're in the public eye.
So that's what we got for physical packaging. And before we move on, I wanted to talk about something that was kind of fun that made a resurgence this year, and it's these little tiny vinyls.
Love them.
So I think that's actually the name of the company that's making these is Tiny Vinyl. They actually have a really fun little logo.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, amazing. And so they've got a collection in Target right now, and a little bit of everything: rock, country, pop. They had a lot of big albums, a lot of big songs and stuff like that. When I saw them, they were pretty picked through. But I picked up this little Teddy Swims, and it's got "Lose Control," which that song in I think it was 2023 was massive. It was everywhere. This dude can sing.
Something about that is so enticing. I love the orange. I love the back wall. Yeah, I mean, he almost looks like Post Malone. Is he like tatted up all over the place?
Tatted up. I think he's got more tats than Post probably because I think even like up on his head and stuff like that, he does kind of have a Post Malone vibe.
Can I see that?
You sure can.
You know, it's pretty cool. Like if you were at a show with this artist and you open this bad boy up, because I pulled this out. Well, Josh showed it to me earlier. He opened up the cellophane. But look, this protective sleeve doesn't have anything on it. I think that's a great opportunity where you could sign an autograph for somebody or whatever. I am surprised they didn't do something like lyrics or something.
Yeah, my guess is, let me see this real quick. It was probably, because of, budget and keeping them, inexpensive. But I really kind of picked it up too because the vinyl was this really cool orange color. Orange is kind of my color.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really dig this album and this song. So I don't know, just really cool. And this isn't new necessarily. 7-inch vinyls, that's what they used to release with like singles and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of
12-inch, 7-inch, and 45s if you go back.
And so it's the whole idea of like something old being made new again.
That's so cool. If I was putting out a single right now, I would do tiny vinyl all day long.
So really cool things happening in the physical packaging world.
Yeah.
So kudos to Tiny Vinyl.
Yeah, nice job, guys.
Things. So that's it for physical packaging. A couple things that we always like to talk about in these episodes too are our favorite music discovery of 2025. One thing that I think we both have fallen in love doing this podcast is just discovering new music and artists and stuff like that. So when something new comes across, like our algorithms, or
word of mouth,
it's always fun to kind of share that with you guys. And one of the bands that I discovered really early this year, probably January, something like that, is this band called Never Tell. So they're an American rock band. They're from Tampa, Florida. They've actually been around since like 2014.
Oh, wow.
They kind of fall in that like metalcore, new metal genre.
Yeah.
And they definitely have inspiration from bands like Linkin Park. You can just hear it in some of the elements in some of their songs and just that whole rock rap vibe.
Yeah.
But they dropped an album. What did I tell you it was
How
called?
did you hear about this one?
I'm pretty sure it was on Instagram. I think one of their
just something in your feed.
Something came across my feed with their song in it, and I was instantly like hooked. Like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
And so you dive in, you go find the album. So I believe the album that came out this year is called Start Again.
Mm-hmm.
And the singles off of that album were awesome. The singles were out for a long time before the album came out. I think that this album came out September of this year, I believe is.
Oh, they got like a little Foo Fighters look on their like their images. I just pulled it up. I've never this is what I do love about our show is like I will listen to this band because you're bringing it up.
Yeah.
They're an American rock band from Tampa, Florida, formed in 2014, as you said. The music's metalcore, new metal inspiration. Pretty cool, man. They're on Epitaph label. Epitaph
I bet you
is a punk label.
Yeah. And I think I follow them on like YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where it came across. Maybe one of the music videos or something like that came across.
I think Tim Armstrong from the band Rancid, he may have been on Epitaph. He may have actually had something to do with the label, but Tim Armstrong is in that genre. When you see labels like that, Epitaph, it brings me back to my LA days. But interesting. That's cool that they're on that label. I wonder if they're still with them. That's pretty, I think that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Living Fiction was their first record in 2016, then Start Again came out in 2025.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's one of those albums that I'm still rocking right now. A few of the songs on that are on my kind of my main playlist that I listen to. So if you're into that like new metal Linkin Park sound, I can't recommend this one enough.
They've done a ton of music videos.
Yeah.
They've done a music video almost every year. I think that's really important, the music video. And I know it's a ton of work to do them, and a lot of times you can do them now in a day on your phone,
right?
And then the artists are just chopping them up into like short clips. But shooting a music video is very expensive for artists. But that's amazing to see they've done like 10.
Yeah, and I think in this world of like short form video and stuff like that, it's almost like a must for especially like the bigger artists and stuff like that.
I did a few in the 90s, and I regret not doing 2 more for some of the singles that were on our first album. And it's because when you get older and you look back at your catalog, you're like, I wish we did a music video to that song. And it all comes down to money. It's like, really, you had to find a buddy that could shoot and cut. And then you had to find time, with the band to go running around New York City to shoot the damn thing.
Yeah, definitely not easy, especially with the band. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was a band that I discovered this year that I'm really glad I found. So Phil, you got anything this year that stood out to you?
Yeah, through my daughter, she introduced us to a country artist named Logan Crosby. Crosby is Jason Aldean's cousin. And that was revealed on a ABC Hulu show called Claim to Fame.
Yep.
And my kid met Logan through that show, through that kind of channel. And we've been following him. He came out with a new record last year, and we went to see him play live in New York City at the Mercury Lounge, where my wife and I had played. And then we got to hang out with him after the show. And I just think what he's doing with country is really fresh. He's hilarious. He's just so funny. So he makes it fun too.
Yep.
He's such a character.
Yeah.
You kind of want to get in his camp and support his records. But yeah, I loved his album. So check out Logan Crosby.
Yeah, I know we talked about his album 2019 last year on our best of. And after that, I started listening to that record, and there's a couple of songs on that record that I really came to love. So, yeah.
I think he's on tour this year too. Let me just look him up.
He does have some shows, I think.
Yeah. Boy, he's young too. He's 25 years old, man. Born in 2000. Logan, you are a young buck. He's a contemporary country singer and songwriter from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can tell you what his tour dates are. Anyway, go follow him. He's so good, man. He always puts on a great show. Whenever he plays in my area, we've gone to see him, and it's really fun to like follow an artist from the early stages.
Yeah,
and then you're like, wow, they're really making some headway.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That's really cool
because it's so hard.
Yeah,
it's so hard.
Yeah,
to
so
do
see young people, continuing to like put the work in and enjoy it, and making good art.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, and it is making good art. You have to sit down and write these songs, and I know he co-writes with a lot of people up in Nashville. And how fun is that? Where you're just like, hey, let's sit down, kind of like we're doing this podcast. Let's sit down and write a song.
Yeah,
that's pretty special to have that kind of creative force.
Yeah, yeah. And so the last thing that I'll say about 2025. Linkin Park ruled my year.
Yeah, they did, man. And I think that's great that you're a champion of them.
Yeah, so obviously they came back together late last year, like September. They announced the new band member, new album,
and she did a great job.
Oh yeah, and they have just been crushing it. They have been touring nonstop basically since that album came out. I got to see them in Nashville, probably easily number one best concert experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
They played for like 2 hours.
That is immense.
And it was just everything. It was all the old stuff, all the new stuff. And one thing I shared with Phil, the one thing that I really loved, obviously when you're in it was the Bridgestone Arena, when you're in those rooms and you hear the crowd sing along to the songs, especially, the parts where, Chester would have been singing.
Yeah, oh man. Emotional.
You just hear the room singing out. One thing that I thought was really encouraging was in the new stuff. It was the same thing. Like everybody around us, when the new songs came on, they were like singing their guts out just like they were when it was like the parts that Chester would have been singing.
I think you're a super fan, right? Would you say you're a super fan?
Probably. I definitely fell off because I was in the camp of, I used to say like, oh, I only liked Meteora and Hybrid Theory Linkin Park.
Yeah.
I was that fan for a long time because I just didn't understand that they didn't want to be put in that box of like, this is only who we are.
Right.
I would say probably within the last 3 or 4 years, I have gone back, I've listened through the rest of their albums, and I still don't love those albums like I do Meteora and Hybrid Theory, but I see it. I understand it now. And I was really excited to hear them come back, have new music, and getting to see them because that was one of those bands that was like really formative for me as an adolescent. It was really cool. It was a really cool experience. My brother flew in from Wyoming, so we got to go to the show together and hang out. So and just talking about fun merch stuff. One of the things that I thought was amazing. They did a collab with Hasbro, not Hasbro, the gummy bear people. Is it Hasbro?
Oh, Haribo.
Yeah, Haribo.
Haribo.
Yeah, and they had Linkin Park gummies, and so I was like,
fun.
Yes, I'm going to buy Linkin Park gummies.
How much were those?
Oh god, they were like $15 or something like that.
Of course they were.
Maybe they were 10. I don't remember. I have to look back.
That's fun.
But yeah, so just one of those things that so if you look at, I don't have Spotify Wrapped. I don't listen to Spotify. I use Apple. But Linkin Park dominated the year as far as know who I listen to the most, and I'm pretty sure one of the songs off of the new album was my number one song. It was it's abbreviated, but I gave you everything I have. Give you everything I have.
I'll check that out.
Just fun, just in your face, full on Linkin Park song.
I asked if you were a super fan because I wonder, like, for this band experienced a huge tragedy when they lost Chester Bennington. So he passed away, and I think maybe if you're a super fan, in a way, you're glad that they have a new lead singer because it keeps the legacy really alive, you know, and they tour and they're in the flesh.
Right. There's a lot of people that put their head in the sand. They're like, it's not Linkin Park unless there's Chester, which I kind of get. You can't replace Chester.
Yeah.
But Emily is such a fun energy plopped into that band. And, from when they launched it, they did a concert. She struggled a little bit with some of the Chester songs. When I saw them in September in Nashville, she killed it.
That's cool.
Killed it. So, like, she's kind of grown into those songs, like how she can sing them.
Yeah.
And just the love that she gets from, like, the people and just, like, letting them sing out some of the parts and stuff like that.
I think it's a nice tip to the fans.
Yeah. And one last cool thing, and then we'll wrap this up. But one of my favorite Linkin Park songs, it's definitely, like, a deep cut, is it's called My December. And I was like, obviously, I know they're not going to play that song because it's basically just Chester on that entire song. But fun fact, that song was written in Nashville. And so at the beginning of the concert, normally they would have, they have some music playing, but then like when their countdown starts, they have a song playing, and they actually played My December during that countdown clock instead of, really, I forget what song they had been playing, but I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I had just told my brother that was like one of my favorite songs, as we were kind of talking about what we were excited about for the concert. And so it was just a really cool, even just that one little thing that, like, I was like,
that's one of my favorites. About, it's there. Yeah, they're like, we got you.
We got you, Josh. So I don't know. It was really cool. It was one of those experiences that I'm really glad that I'm glad I was on the floor standing for like 4.5 hours or something like that. Yeah. Something crazy. Something that the 36-year-old body doesn't love as much as when you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
But
general admission, right?
Yeah. Well, not general admission, but floor, standing only. Because it's just, man, being in the crowd is so much different than being up in especially in an arena like that. Being up in the stand, sitting in a chair, it's just not the same. Yeah, it's just not.
Absolutely.
I want to be with the people.
Yeah, you want to be
with the crazies.
Collective experience.
Like, I don't want to be in the pit, but I want to be like on the fringe of the pit. You know what I mean?
I want to watch people getting their butts kicked.
So that's 2025 in a nutshell here at the Judge by the Cover podcast. Yeah, so those are our favorites. Like I said, I'm sure there were other things that we could have talked about. We could probably talk about for days.
That's where you should comment. Like, help us, like, turn on to some new music.
Yeah. So who do we need to be following in 2026? What albums, what songs, what artists? Drop them in the comments. Send us a message. You can even leave us a 5-star review and, put that in the review, who we should be checking out. Is that a way to get people to leave reviews, Phil?
I don't think so.
Probably not. But if
you gotta ask. You gotta ask.
If you stayed here this long, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
I know we were not as present in 2025 as we would have wanted to be with the podcast, but you know what? Sometimes life happens, and maybe we were having way too much fun. Who knows?
That's right.
But we're trying to be a little more proactive this year. In fact, we're going to be back to back. We're gonna record another episode here once we get off, and just try and stay ahead of it this year. So we thank you. We appreciate it. I think that's it.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Happy New Year. Thanks, guys.